Depends on whatever floats their boat. But this is a huge match with a lot of implications. Based on just the lineups alone, who do you favor, young man?
I really liked Spirit's draft until this last pick, Bat. I think this is an exceptionally good Batrider game coming out from Alliance. It has 3 good core matchups. It's not like completely free because there are some traps that you can fall into. Dark Willow is not a fully one-sided matchup for Batrider. It sucks to get terrorized because your hero is fast and you fly over cliffs, so you can lose a lot of distance in the fight. Brambles can be a little bit annoying to navigate. There's the tiny stun, but for the most part, this is a really good Bat game, and I'm expecting big things to come out from Limp in that role. Yeah, until that point, I was really favoring Spirit clearly. I think they got their hands on some amazing heroes in both the Willow, Mag, and Wyvern. This is a kind of style of drafting that we've seen from PSG LGD to have a lot of success. They're running similar heroes for similar logic. It's a little bit of a mix and match between those and Nigma. But yeah, my hero to look for in this game is just going to be this Batrider. How much can he accomplish? How many deaths can he avoid? And just keep rolling with the pressure, because if he doesn't take off and does not build a big lead, I still do think eventually he will falter against this incredible mid-late game lineup that Team Spirit have drafted for themselves.
So it is going to be Limp on the Batrider, as you said, playing the mid lane, and I assume it's against Tiny, right? That's Toronto, like Tokyo, and that is a horrific matchup for Tiny, pretty much any melee hero for that matter.
I think it's better than it used to be.
In what way?
Batrider has just been nerfed a lot, right? Like, his laning is also worse. And even though Tiny is a melee hero, at the very least, if you make sure you get caught at the right time, so to speak, you can toss Bat to the creep wave if he's trying to dive you in the tower. You do have a little bit of a stun in the avalanche, so, but it's definitely still a Batrider favored lane. I would way rather be the Batrider on this side of the matchup. You're already seeing him here now with 5 sticky stacks. I'm not sure why Toronto Tokyo is trying to trade here. This is never gonna favor you with this many stacks.
Yeah, that's 7. That's a lot of right-click damage, no doubt about it, Cinderman. I mean, what are your thoughts on just mid-time? You kind of heard what Effie was going with there in terms of mid-time not having a great percentage. I feel like with this lineup, if they could have, it was last pick, so you can't really do that, but trying to flex this hero to be a position 4, because I think the most success that we've found so far is Tiny's blinking in. It's kind of like how Mars has developed throughout this tournament as well. You blink in and you toss people back into your team.
Yeah.
And this specific team, again, just look at all these heroes. You got the Bramble, you got RP, you have Winter's Curse. There's so many things that the enemies don't want to get up close. That ends up being a free pickoff. But that's your mid hero doing that in this case.
It's a good point. This is very similar to the lineup TNC ran earlier, actually. They had those 3 heroes as well, right? Wyvern, Tiny, and Mag. I think in that strategy that they ran in Game 3 against Aster. So yeah, we definitely saw its impact there. Can you do that without a mid Tiny? Maybe. TNC also ran it mid on Armel, I think, that game, right? I'm gonna say yes. So it was very similar. I will agree that you can play this style also from a support role, but it's a lot more timing dependent. You don't have the items as early, and I don't know, Tiny as a 4 in this patch also seems a little bit off sometimes. You just have these games where if you don't find kills, you're largely a liability for a while, where most of these other 4s will have more to bring to the table just by the reliability of their spells. Tiny, you have to come in really close to have high impact. The most 4s we see played right now are ranged. It's heroes like Willow, Wyvern, Lion that have ranged spells. Earth Spirit has vanished in this tournament. So I do agree with Effie. I think it's more of a core right now. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of her logic with just farming on it, though. I think if you're going to farm 2 or 3 items on Tiny, you might as well pick another carry, right? Like, what's appealing about the hero is its ability to fight early over other cores.
Then again, I feel like we've seen a small sample size of these position 1 Tinies where at the 20-minute mark is when you really hit your stride, right? You go for, you don't go blink at all in that case, right? You just go for the right click. As S4, you can take a Winter's, or an Arctic Burn, I should say. Yataro gets the right click down with the net.
If he gets rooted, he dies.
If he gets netted, like you said, but the slow down there on the other side, the Whirling Death. Looks like that is going to be the first blood going the way of Team Spirit. So Troll versus Ursa. This is a matchup of this used to be very Ursa favored. Now, I mean, it's kind of up in the air. I don't see anybody buying Aghanim's Scepter anymore on Troll. That was a thing for a while. That's really good against Ursa. It's actually really good at dispelling a lot of stuff on the enemy team.
I think it would be great this game.
Sticky Napalm, Fatal Bonds, and you can take off Overpower.
You can also dispel Breathe Fire, right? I definitely think you want Ags on your troll this game as part of the build. You you have Empower, so you get that free damage that you would usually not want to buy Ags because of the lack of damage, but you can cover that with Collapse in this game, so I would definitely like to see an Ags. I don't know when you build it here, if it's like third major item, second major item. I would imagine we get to see the troll go something along the line of Tread Sanjanyasha with Empower, and then a lot of the time you want to get BKB after that.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to bother with Battle Fury because of that Empower, so that is a nice thing to have. And we've seen Maelstrom from time to time, but I feel like with the Empower, it depends on where Collapse is at that point of the game, but if you can consistently get it on your troll, then you don't really need any farming items, which is pretty huge. Miposhka, looks like he's going to get the Splinter Blast off with the right click to continue for Yataro. Inkswell is there to ward them off for now, but Yataro is just going to run right back. He has Whirling Axes up again, and this is a really strong laning position one. What do you think the reason is we're not seeing a ton of troll? Because obviously I'm a huge fan of this hero.
I think right now in the way the teams are playing in this tournament, kiting seems very impactful. And the reason Ursa is a more preferred hero than troll is that, yeah, they both suffer from being kited, but Ursa kills you too fast. Troll needs to stay on his target for quite a while, and it just invites the enemy team to buy 4 staffs, pick heroes that have hard lockdown, such as like the Wyvern that is on Team Spirit's side right now is like the perfect counter to troll in this meta. It does everything he hates. It saves against physical damage, it has a hard BKB lockdown, and a lot of these kinds of heroes that have stuff like this are popular, so that just drops troll stock quite a bit. He's still as good as the laner as ever. Like you can see him in this lane pressuring the Dragon Knight quite a lot. Like S4 still holding his own with getting CS, but he did get first blooded and has been struggling a little bit. Which very few carries are able to do, right? So
yeah, that's true. I mean, it also helps where Enrage is just this very consistent spell that you can use to get extremely tanky, and then Troll Wardler is like, oh, you just die half the time. You're just uncontrollable.
That's the other thing about that spell that has always been the problem, right? Is that it sucks not controlling what your hero's doing.
FNG gets the Avatos combo. Looks like the Curse Crown will be here to ensure that Toronto Tokyo gets the last hit. And he will do that. So 2-0 advantage for Team Spirit. They have a 1K net worth advantage pretty early on.
FNG was in here to block Ancients against the Mag Troll combination, and he did get his sentry off. Will pay with his life, and they should know that this is here. So you would imagine Team Spirit will come over and open this up very soon.
I mean, look at this net worth, though, between the two mids. Limp and Toronto Tokyo. Yeah, that, I mean, I feel like if you're Team Spirit, you're very happy with that.
It's pretty good.
You don't seem too impressed in there. I mean, Limp has destroyed the lane, like you talked about last game. 2 out of the first 2 games.
That is true. This is the first time that Limp doesn't have a big lead, so that does indeed bode very well. In terms of a theoretical matchup, I think this is when Batrider just destroys Tiny. I don't think it's level 1, 2, 3, 4. It's when he has this threat where if Tiny even comes to look at creeps, he can start getting killed with a +1. Right. Oh, they found Hanskin.
Yeah, Hanskin. Well, he's going to get his Inkswell off for now, but the burst damage is way too much. Now Mira showing his presence here with the Curse Crown. Won't be able to follow it up, but I mean, Team Spirit gets exactly what they want.
They're sitting on top 3 net worth right now. 2K gold lead minute 7, a very good start for their lineup. And we were talking about how for Alliance, I think this is something very important that the panel mentioned about Warlock's playstyle as a hero. Alliance's lineup for me pulls a little bit in 2 different directions, because Warlock to me is one of the most uniform heroes in the game. Like, very monotonous in playstyle. He can do one thing, that's 5-man team fight. That's all he does.
Yeah, that's why it's a Slack special.
And he's also, coincidentally, one of the best heroes to buy 5 different boots on, because his spells are so good. You don't need to have...
To be fair, that was on Venomancer.
Yeah, I know. He's not a good hero for it. That's why we lost. So, but what I'm getting at here is that Warlock really wants that type of fight, and I'm not sure if they can enforce that type of fight with an Ursa carry and a Batrider mid. Like, it's not, the entire lineup doesn't necessarily, to me, come together for the exact same style of play. It can happen, of course. Like, you have the Soulbind Fatal Bonds combination, which is very powerful. Under the right conditions, it can be great, but I'm a little bit unsure.
Yeah, going for that rune. That's going to cost him. That's the Inkswell with the lasso combination, but there's the Avatos to follow. Don't think it's enough damage to take out Limp. So Toronto Tokyo falls, and reinforcements are not enough damage.
And you see Limp knowing the matchup here. He's already got a cloak on the Batrider, just getting a value cloak early on, magic wand, anything that buffs him up a little bit. You know Tiny is it really is about can you survive the 100 to 0, right? If you as Bad Rider go on Tiny and you don't die in the burst, you got him after.
Yeah, and I mean, Effie was talking about this on the panel. The Avalanche has just been nerfed over and over, it feels like. So that Avatos combo, it doesn't blow up all, like these supports, and typically if you get that Blink Dagger, that's like, okay, the next 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, you're just gonna insta-kill all these supports, so that's not the case anymore.
Trouble here.
Toronto Tokyo gets the toss off.
That's...
Mira. All right, Bramble connects, but they're not gonna be able to follow this up with anything.
That was not going to work like that. Okay, I thought they were actually going to make it there in time, but S4 with a good map read, backed off in time. Okay, I guess we're stacking tips on Toronto Tokyo now for that toss.
Nice, nice. Yeah, they weren't. I mean, you got to try to tilt somehow. Limp is back in the job. I'm guessing like a mid Bat Rider. It's not much has changed, but the nerf to Sticky Napalm, what is it? Half damage to creeps?
I don't remember anymore. It's been nerfed like 17 different times.
It was nerfed to the ground in terms of just this strategy, right? But it looks like he's still able to farm. It's just going to take a little bit longer.
Bad Rider's success in the last year mostly depends on whether it is a good Sticky Napalm game against the enemy heroes. Like that's what determines it. Do they have dispels? Do they have heroes that can lane against it? If not, Bat Rider will always be this really annoying hero to deal with.
Right.
Obviously, Team Spirit don't have anything in the way of dispel except the Troll Axe that we've already talked about, which is a possibility after the SNY. So he should be having quite the field day on Bat. He's now also created a decent gap to the Tiny, sitting ahead of 700 net worth now. Going to be limited a little bit, down to 500 now.
Yeah, but this is a pretty nice stack for Alliance. I mean, Yataro did take out an okay stack, but this is a better stack on Alliance's side. So we'll see if they keep that up or not.
S4 going to pressure again.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to defend here.
Is Nico maybe going to start farming? How long is he going to use on this stack?
Oh, yeah, I was going to say.
This is going to take forever.
Well, once he gets, I mean, he has Morbid Mass now, so at least he can survive.
We're literally talking a minute and a half to kill this.
It's worth.
They have Fatal Bonds.
I mean, he's almost level 9, so that's when Roche becomes a lot easier to take for him, and he can just solo it at any point. S4 with this siege,
they got it.
He's going to be able to get this tower for Alliance's side, so that's
go back to
first tower of the game.
Let's have a look at Ursa.
Let's go back to Ursa. There we go. The side cam watching him very slowly take out the Ancients. Extremely exciting stuff. And hey, Warlock is healing him.
He's been there for about 40 seconds now. He's almost cleared it. The Fatal Bonds definitely helped quite a lot, but that is honestly not very efficient farming. I mean, he had to do it, right? He had to take the stack because they need to mine all the gold on the map that they can as a team.
What is it, StarCraft?
Yes.
Resource.
As a matter of fact.
You're out of Nespine. What is it called? Nespine gas? Oh, man.
Vespine gas?
Vespine. Oh my God, it's been so long. I haven't played StarCraft 2, by the way.
Maybe what you were thinking of was Nestea.
Nestea? No.
That was a pro player.
Well, that's a literal drink. As we continue to see this stack
taken out. A pro player named after a drink.
That's a very original name.
Yep. It's like being called Suns fan, being named after the Suns and being a fan of them.
I enjoy the sun that we revolve around.
All of them.
All of the suns that we revolve around.
Yes. What's your favorite sun?
Ours.
Okay. You don't know any others.
I do not know any others.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine.
All right, Nico Baby inside the pit. And I don't, well,
he's getting
the scan comes out just to make sure that nobody
do this without Warlock heal, I think.
Well, he has Enrage. Yeah, there's the heal coming out. Now the question is, will Team Spirit do anything about this? Do they know anything about it?
They have a ward.
Yeah. This is going to be.
They're seeing the Warlock. I mean, this is very obvious.
Yeah, Toronto Tokyo has the blink Avatos. It's not enough to take out FNG, and the Chaotic Offering comes out right before his death.
If they
Roche almost terrorized. Was canceled there, and S4 gets the initiation, but the Winter's Curse to follow. Question is, can Dark Willow get out of here? Mira looks to be dead to that free fire. And that's a 1-for-0 exchange to start things out as we have the lasso onto Collapse. Looks like well, he wasn't able to get an RP off, but does skewer up that beautiful goal.
What's Limp doing?
Sticky Napalm on Collapse now, and Limp just gets evaporated there. Now S4 trying to aggress here a little bit further. Yataro takes out the Golem. Curse Crown is going to connect, and Yataro, no reason not to just continue right-clicking this Dragon Knight, so that is a couple nice kills for Team Spirit, and another blink skewer to FNG, who had just died. Looks like he'll die again. Double kill for
I am
Yataro.
dumbfounded. Alliance were so disconnected in that play.
That's it.
It was actually a really good disengage from them, so they end up only losing the Warlock to get the Roche. They could have just backed out.
Yeah.
And then S4 gets a really clutch stun on the Magnus, who's blinking in for the RP. So they did a great job getting out of there.
Oh, they're doing it again.
Oh, no,
Shockwave into the Sphere, into RP. This is not technically a dieback. This is a respawn and then die immediately.
All right.
I don't know if there's a saying for that, but either way, 3K net worth lead now for Spirit, despite giving up the first Roshan.
It's called a spawn back.
Is that actually a thing?
I don't know.
All right, well, let's just call it a spawn
That is
back.
my favorite sun.
Yeah, Limp, you can see.
Sun, not son.
Very shiny. I think he might be sweating profusely after that one, but not a good thing. S4 gets the Blink Dragon Tail. Doesn't really have any follow-up, though, so Mira should be fine.
I can tell you, like, playing Batrider core and having a good start and then getting back-to-back deaths does so much for your momentum.
Into Bramble, but there's the Avatos on the Handskin. The Inkswell does connect, though, for the time being. He might just get bursted down. Yeah, that throw of the tree is more than enough. Now the Nico Baby's here with that Aegis Yataro. All right, they're trying to kite the Ursa while this Enrage is active. Terrorize being faked out. And in the meanwhile, Toronto Tokyo finds FNG again. They're just finding these kills quite easily. Now the Bedlam on top of S4 is completely isolated from his team. And another kill goes the way of Team Spirit. They are destroying right now.
Alliance are really falling apart right now. I feel like they need to just take a deep breath and stop forcing fights that they're not ready for. They're willingly fighting with 100 gold to Diffusal Blade on Ursa. He's running on this troll and he can't do anything. He's just casting Whirling Axis and running away.
Yeah.
And every time they do this, their supporting cast is kind of being in range, trying to help out with their spells. And guess who likes that? Tiny just wants these supports to expose themselves all the time. Like, he gets a free pick on the Grimstroke to start, then he gets a free pick on the Warlock. And the fight just plays itself because Alliance, just to put it simply, they're just not ready yet. But they are the ones forcing that fight. They also were the ones forcing the fight in the river. Actually did such a good job just getting this Roche for free, and they've just thrown away 3K gold for it suddenly.
And Yataro,
that is not...
as we see the, this is the post-Roche fight, I do believe.
So Bat dies, now Dragon Knight's gonna jump in. Look at the left side of the fight here. Ursa doesn't, he's like, guys, he doesn't want to fight. Hello, I can't do anything. The Grimstroke's like, let's get out of here.
Actually,
and then they get the pick here.
And the Inkswell...
And then they get the bat again.
They're definitely disconnected. You see the Inkswell on Ursa as he's going back to hit creeps, so definite miscommunication overall from Alliance. I don't think there's any other way to look at it.
And that's, honestly, it's so big because you have this Aegis, but because of all the gold you gave away... Okay,
Blink Dragon Tail, Nico. Yeah, okay. They burst him down, but there's the RP into the Skewer. This is the Aegis on Ursa. They're going to focus on the Dragon Knight first, and S4 is donezo. All right, FNG with the Fatal Bonds, Chaotic offering, buyback now onto Dark Will. Be able to TP back to this Tier 1 tower in the mid lane. Inkswell on Nico, baby. Looks like it will connect onto Tiny, but he's just going to back up after the fact. And they clean up the Chaotic offering Golem pretty easily. Did cost a buyback for Team Spirit, but...
That was okay-ish for Alliance. Not great. They end up using Chaotic Offering, like you said, and the Dragon Knight of S4 will die, but they did not lose their Aegis. So still, at least I do believe, they still have the Aegis, right? Not...
Yeah, I think the timer's just a little bugged right now.
Okay.
It's probably like 2 minutes, maybe a little less.
So if we turn back time 5 minutes and imagine Alliance take this Roche and don't lose 6 heroes in sequence after, this gold lead right now for Team Spirit might have been like 1K, and suddenly with this Ursa Diffusal timing, you can make a fight where you have pretty good odds. Now, because of how much Team Spirit have managed to accrue in the last 2 minutes, or 3 minutes, you might end up not using the Aegis at all. Like, I don't think you are favored in a fight now with Chaotic Offering on cooldown. You just can't fight. So he's gonna expend this Aegis and his Diffusal pickup timing in the jungle. Where in a lot of these successful Ursa games we've seen in this tournament, this timing is the one where it's go time. You know, you go kill them. Aegis is down now, by the way.
Yeah.
What was that on the right side? Was that a viewer thing?
What?
Was it a viewer, a view?
A view?
Up and down the mouse if it was... Yep, okay, it was a viewer chart.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's great. Current record? Wow. Congratulations.
Tell your friends.
Yep, tell your 2 friends that play Dota because you can't stay friends with people you play Dota with. We've established that many a time. That's why Cinder and I have had to stop playing with each other. As this Tier 1 tower is surprisingly still up. despite this lead from Team Spirit. But again, on their side of the map, Yataro is just farming the crap out of this map overall. He has a 2K net worth advantage. And it's going to grow here with that tier 1 tower that falls. He has an SNY now officially finished.
Double
Doesn't
damage
look like he's going for the Aghanim Obsession, which makes me a little bit sad. But I mean, can't really blame him as these items are really good still.
They are. I definitely do think you could make a case for the...
He actually came!
Oh, he didn't see them, I think.
Yeah, Nico, baby. Terrorize is being faked out. There's the double silence with the Soulbind combination into the Fatal Bonds. Collapse wanted to blink in, but that Fatal Bonds is canceling his blink dagger, and they just need to get out. And they successfully do so. As we see the... Oh, these are new. I haven't seen this. The player cams. Little baby cams, if you will. Pretty cool.
You have to be like a fish.
Okay, sure.
Yes. Sorry, I just got reminded of that. I read that comment earlier. I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
And there were like tiny little fishies on the side there. Not much shark about Nico in this game so far.
That's
we'll see
true.
if he does shark up later.
I mean, he is top net worth on his team.
Oh,
the RP misses from Collapse.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a really good Earth Shock coming out for Nico, baby. And I mean, that's a pretty big ultimate down for Team Spirit. It's not like a golem necessarily, because there's a lot of ways for them to still initiate, but maybe that's something Alliance can use to their advantage here. And again, next Roche, we won't know for another minute when that will spawn, but even with this lead, you could still get that pretty quickly, obviously with an Ursa on your team. And I feel like that's the name of the game for Alliance.
They need the Roche, for sure. They either need the Roche or some sort of miraculous Batrider team fight. Batrider still has a lot of potential in this game with the BKB, but again, these 2 deaths mid, right? All steam from his game just got blown out of it. He lost... It's not just the gold that he lost, it's the time, right? I think he might have even changed his item build. I would definitely say this feels like a BKB game on Bat, and I'm saying that against RP and Curse, but it's just... Like at this point, maybe you're going to go a different path. The reason I like the BKB so much is that you force these spells on you. If the enemy team doesn't RP or curse you, you will kill 2 heroes and incapacitate the rest of the team, inhibit them, even without a diffusal.
Right, there's the jump. Blink with the Dragon Tail Inkswell combination.
Good damage.
Do they have the follow-up is the question. He's going to get soulbound for now. Now the reinforcements have arrived for Team Spirit. Golem is placed. Collapse is still living through this, and S4 just getting right-click down by Yataro with that terror in place. I cannot believe they didn't finish off Magnus. That's crazy.
They didn't have any more damage in the tank. None of the actual damage heroes, Batrider or Ursa, were in range. So it was S4 with an Inkswell and a little bit of a Stroke of Fate, and that was it.
And now a
They
smoke.
even dropped the Chaotic Offering again. So
Yeah.
this is a huge timing for Team Spirit. They're flat out way stronger. Warlock showing on a ward. He's toast if they want to get him. They might look for something bigger, though.
Yeah, well, they're going to get the Avalanche and toss in place with the Echo Saber.
They're going to get extra. Yes, they are.
And yeah, another support goes their way as there's a maniacal laugh in the background, Cinder, and boy, what a voice line.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I'm listening to that. Seems like a really unlikable guy. Probably doesn't smell very good either.
Oh, how dare you. How dare you. All right, well,
Can you
Team
sometimes
Spirit.
just hear how people smell? Do you just sometimes hear a voice like that and you're like, yep, that is definitely
I was going to name a name, but I'm not going to now. But yes, that is definitely the case.
Almost got you baited there.
5K net worth lead on just the Troll Warlord. He is enormous. Has the Basher. Man, it really does make me sad he's not going for Ags, but BKB looks to be next. If they get Roche, please give him the shard. I've never actually seen it in a pro game. I would be so excited.
That's
to see
the one
Rampage.
that gives him 2 types of ult, right?
Yeah, the Rampage, when you... It's its own skill. So when you pop it, you get status resist for you and your whole team.
If you're in melee.
If you're in melee form, and it changes dynamically. So if you change to range, you get attack speed on everybody. It's really, it sounds cool, probably not that great.
Status resistance is really good against
Well, yeah,
these
in
heroes,
melee form, I think especially it's really good. And then for high ground offense, just pushing, the range is obviously super good, depending on the lineup. All right, Roshan is being attempted now. It's already at half HP. Can Alliance do anything about this? They're not really in the vicinity. So this is going to be a freebie for Team Spirit. And remember, this is the second Roche. This is Aegis, Cheese, and Shard. Shard on, was that Tiny you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the right choice. You get the infinite tree, so you don't have to put that bad boy down anymore. That's really nice.
So he eats that up and grabs the cheese.
They actually have really good shards on this team. Yeah, like really good on all of them.
The Willow would have been good too. The Horn Toss is good. The Wyvern one is okay in this game. I feel like they've done a decent job at making Wyvern not an S tier hero in this game, but it doesn't matter. Like, with how everything else is going, Miposhka doesn't need great Cold Embraces here against Ursa. There's obviously a lot of magic damage that you... Cold Embrace is not good against Bat Rider, right? But it doesn't really matter that much. And at the same... I mean, I'm saying it's not good. It's not good from the perspective of denying Bat Rider his damage component, but it's still a good spell. Because if you get Lasso, you can Cold Embrace for about the same duration as Lasso, and you at least negate all the potential physical follow-up from his team, and then your core can react. So
especially if it's
I actually take it back. It's also good against Bat Rider. It's just a very, very potent spell. As long as the enemy team can't 100 to 0 the hero during the Cold Embrace, it's good, and he even has a Glimmer Cape here. So we'll see where that came from to protect from the magic damage as well.
Yeah, and this will be the final outer tower for Team Spirit to get. And if you look at the map, at least right now, Alliance has one tower taken. And it's the top tier one. I believe they're going to get the bottom one here soon, I would assume, as Yataro, again, with that Aegis. You see the Inkswell onto S4. They wanted to set something up, but think better of it. He's already popped his Dragon form. This is going to be a free tier 2 in the end for Yataro. But now the potential fight, Shadow Realm is popped. Limp looking for an opening inside this tree line. And
Limp
now
is looking
it's
toward
completely
his
revealed.
base.
Yeah, now they're back to base. But Toronto Tokyo with the Avalanche talk back into Troll. And this Dragon Knight is not tanky at all when you're against this Troll Warlord with this ridiculous net worth.
You know what I call that? I call that Dragon Light.
Man, you got the zingers today, I have to admit.
I don't know
Pretty
if that's
nice.
a zinger.
It's something. We see this,
Thank you.
This 3 tower taken out pretty easily. 16 seconds left. I mean, this is actually a really low death cooldown here. You have the soul line into the chaotic offering. Remember, the Aegis is still online. Terrorize. Very nicely done. Miposhka gets the heal up on Yataro for now, and you still have the battle chains. He's actually going to pop it. Looks like it'll be applied to that Warlock. And now, likely we'll go for the Rax of Nico Baby. Should be fine for now, but there's the lasso again. Still have the Aegis for Yataro, so he's not really worried about this. And they're just going to turn the tide now onto Limp, and that is going to be a double kill for Yataro. Pops the BKB. We'll get the Rax as well. 18-2 in terms of just the score line.
Shannon, I think we're getting our answer for what Team Spirit do in Game 3. They haven't had the chance to do this during the groups.
They've been waiting.
In Game 3, they stomped the hardest they have possibly been able to in this tournament. I think this is the most one-sided game Team Spirit have played.
This is a game shellacking if I've ever seen one. Skewer into the Avatar, onto the Ursa. He does not have buyback. It's a 5v4 without your position 1. And now Yataro, again, still has the Aegis online. Not sure how much longer he has on it, but we get the Dragon Tail onto the Tiny. But there's a save again. Miposhka on the backline. Another Blink Skewer. Dragon Knight now in the hands of Troll Warlord will drop. Does have buyback, of course. Finally, the Aegis is expended. We have to think at the very least Team Spirit will be able to get this tier, or this second set of racks. And they can just reset if they want. Let's see how disciplined they want to play. I mean, again, 20-2, 21K net worth lead at 26 minutes. This feels very difficult. Collapse, not able to get... I mean, these Blink Skewers have been really good up until that one, of course.
Yeah. I think Collapse for... I don't think I only speak for myself when I say he's been really impressive. Like, it's one of the players that have, like, say, the least pedigree going into the tournament that people know the least about.
What is he, a horse?
Yes.
Pedigree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if that's... Can you not use that?
You probably can, but it's reserved for horses usually. But
horses and dog food.
I mean, he does play Centaur from time to time, so I guess it's acceptable.
He has been playing very, very well in this tournament. I think he's very much making a name for himself here. Like I said, one of the lesser known players going into the tournament, but he's just delivering. Like, I'm trying to think of a game where I was like, man, Collapse looked really inexperienced in this one. Like, he's just been stable, been doing good in his lanes. He definitely has like a player personality, like the type of heroes they put him on. It's defined, but it's working. Like, Team Spirit are about to get top 8 here with a win in this series.
Yeah, they're looking, again, we talked about Team Spirit. They've looked good throughout the entire group stage, and like, we were impressed with them. Yeah. So I'm not surprised. I guess maybe more surprised that Alliance is, if things go as they're going right now, only winning 1 game at the major. That's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, after the group stage, I said I think this team has a real shot at top 8, maybe even top 6, and they're showing why today. I don't remember what their potential next matchup is if they do close out this game, which I'd love to see a win expectancy on this one. I imagine it's close to 99% probably. You have Mag Troll with a 23k lead. It can't, okay, it's 100.
100%. Okay.
This would be an incredible comeback for Alliance to win a game that they have 0% chance of winning.
There's the Avatos, and they just delete the Grimstroke. Does have buyback though. Also has the shard, so his Inkswell is going to be able to hard dispel once it goes off, and it also heals the target. So who knows, maybe that'll come into play. There's the Blink Skewer again. It feels like Alliance is just letting them do this now. Of course, there's not much they can do, sadly, for them, as that is a dead S4. Horn Toss, as you can see, that's a shard for Magnus, so he can do a lot of cool little stuff to combo with his Skewer. And Jitara, all right, that's a double buyback on Alliance. This is going to be the last-ditch effort for them. And with this Spirit, might just reset. They could just keep going, though. They have nothing to worry about, I don't think. Collapse. There's the Horn Toss into the Skewer. S4. He will not have buyback for this. And yeah, he drops 70 seconds on the deck. And Team Spirit look to be taking this in a Gaben-level shellacking, I have to say, Cinder. And this is a mega stomp. There is the RP. Not even getting the Warlock ult off. Does have buyback, but it matters not. GG. Alliance is eliminated, and Team Spirit shall move on. Wow, that was convincing.
That was a great showing. Like I said during the draft, I love their picks. I thought the Batrider could be like a really cool trump card pick from Alliance, but it just did not work out. He didn't really win his lane, which I think is okay, you know, until level 5-6, Tiny can hold his ground, but they just got outplayed, and they really lost their footing in the game. Like, they were uncertain, should we go in, should we not? They were like hesitating, and